I went to a junior high school a few blocks from here, and in my heart, I was hurting, and I didn't know how to let go of that pain. And I remember walking into a restroom and sticking a needle in my arm full of heroin and cocaine in junior high school. I was looking for a way out.
That's all we want to give him. We want to give him life. We want to give him hope.
Manuel is well aware of where he would be if his life had not changed when it did.
I'd be dead. There's no other way I'd be dead. That's why I guess you can say I'm so grateful. I just blow my heart out of stretch like there's no tomorrow. Because there's a fire, there's a passion, there's a zeal in my heart for people. Whoever it may be.
Boy, one of the most violent guys in our city, now turning around and helping young people everywhere. We're telling his story. He's here with us. But, Manuel, you know, you talked about humility, and there you are. Your grandmother counseled you and cautioned you to be humble. And, you know, you really have been lifted up. Now you're in front of audiences literally all over the world, all over the country. And there's got to be a lot of room for pride to kind of puff up about that. But you've stayed humble. You're the same guy I met 27 years ago. How have you done that?
I never forgot where I come from. You know, I keep one hand in the gutter and one hand in heaven. And, you know, the thing is that for me, it's just, I couldn't see myself hurting guys that I grew up with. Because for me, it was like, all we had was just to trust each other. We gave our life for each other. There was a loyalty. And for me to go back and start using drugs and start doing that and to have a relationship outside marriage, it never happened because of my heart for people in the neighborhood. Because of all the different kids that come up to me, thousands, and they'll say, "Man, you're like my dad. I never had."
Wow.
So these are things that I gotta hold on to when television, media, all the whatever you want to call it. But I remember the thing is that because in '08, you know, life's a journey, and I've spoken all, you know, but life's a journey because in '08, that rally was in 1999, and we had over, I don't know, 9,000 people at that event. But one thing I remember there was this little white girl came up to me. She goes, "You know, I felt like committing suicide tonight, and I didn't know where to go. But I heard you preaching, and we live across the street in the apartments. It's at West High." And she started crying. She goes, "I just want to thank you for coming." She said, "I don't know why you came over here to this side, but I just want to say thank you." And I looked down at her, and I seen her parents behind her, and they're crying. And I said, "Well, you know what? This rally was just for you." Then it was so. So the reason why I don't forget also because I'm always in the neighborhoods. I'm always in the mix. Keeps you relevant. There's one thing you can't fake, and that's being fake with the guys in the neighborhood. And, you know, killing is like breathing in the neighborhoods and the way it was for us. But when Christ changed my life, you know, I was able to reach families and people that were scared of coming outside of their homes. I have a gentleman that got out of prison a year and a half ago. He did 36 years straight. And he comes in, the first place he comes, will stay focused.
Wow.
He goes, "Man, I'm back, bro." We're like the Twilight Zone. But my point was, he goes, all the brothers up there, Manuel, know that they get out and they stay close to you, they're going to make it. That's a heavy responsibility.
Yes.
You know? So I think about things like this every day, you know, Lord, okay, just watch over me and protect me as we go. And in '08, you know, I was real sick. I was on dialysis. And I was on dialysis 5.5 years. And through that whole journey, and I say that because, you know, this year, we've been in ministry now 25 years, nonstop. And when I was sick in '08, this is what happened through that whole journey. I never said nothing to anybody, but I knew it was going to be a long road. And at that time, you know, of ministry in '08, it was difficult because Monday, Wednesday, Friday, going to dialysis. And here we are speaking of faith and men of God, and and everything. But when you're going through the storm, that's really who you are in your character,
Right.
and who you are.
Right.
And then I got so skinny because of dialysis, people were saying, well, he's on heroin again. And these are Christians, But I had to remember why I was there and what I was doing. And the day I went in, I'll never forgot, it was January 20th when I went into that room. And I woke, my wife was next to me, and I fell asleep, and I looked up, and I saw myself preaching on TV. 4:30 in the afternoon. I looked at it. I wanted to grab the machine and throw it, the TV. But I knew that God had a plan. Making a long story short, through all that, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I thought I was probably going to die. People around me that were dying. But the whole thing was always staying humble, knowing that God is faithful through it all,
Right.
through that sickness, but continue to preach.
Yes.
And we did that. And, and then there was a miracle in the house right next to me. It was my wife that gave me a kidney. And you know what's such amazing about that? Because in 1986, when I got out of prison, I was so hard. I was hard as a rock. My grandma would hug me. She was, I don't feel no life. I feel like hugging a rock. And in 1986, I met Liz, my wife, when I got out of prison. Not knowing that later on she'd be my wife. But it's funny how that life's a journey.
Yes.
And we met her, and I met her, and, talked to her and stuff. And as the years went by, we met each other again in church, and things and we got married in 1991. Not knowing that 20-something years later, she was going to save my life
Yes.
with a kidney. And I say that because sometimes whoever's listening right now might feel like they
Yes.
want to give up or quit. And they might say, well, I never had a testimony. The greatest testimony is to never have one. I never gave in to sin. I never did that because it was Christ. I was standing on the rock. But through that, I say that just to encourage people,
Yes.
not to quit, not to give up, to
Right.
press forward
Yes.
and keep going, and knowing that all things are possible to them that believe.
Yes.
Manny, where do you see our culture today? You mentioned the young girl that came up at one of your events and said she was on the verge of committing suicide. I just talked to a high school counselor who said she faces that almost every day. And all her other counselors in all our other high schools are seeing the same thing. Kids just seem to have a reason to live, and the contemplation of suicide is just epidemic. What do you see out there?
Well, as far as on the streets, there's no rules anymore. There's no rules anymore. Nothing applies to what used to be right and what's wrong. It's like whatever happens, happens. And with that, senior generation today, a lot of them are influenced by different things, with the music. Because we know, same thing. It's just grown. You can't put a Band-Aid on cancer. Meth, spice, everything else has kicked into where it's okay to do this, It's okay. First one's free, second one will cost you. See? So when I talk to kids that are cutters or, trying to feel that pain that they can't fulfill or desensitized or numb, brokenhearted, it comes down to Christ as the answer. And that's why you got to be bold with them in 2015.
Yes.
There is no other way. You got to be right in their
Yes.
face. Christ is the answer, but be balanced. You see, that's what's happened with so many people. They're always doing this instead of doing it and then hugging them.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that kids are starving for, that hug, that they're broken. And I see that in schools because we're in schools every day. Schools have given us their entire class level. When we do 12-week programs, and they're giving us their entire class level, 4th and 5th. I mean, it's like because of social media, these kids are in the 8th grade mentality. I got so many principals right now that are like, it's just they're hanging by their fingernails. And just here, BCSD has the most students in a school in California, biggest district. We have the biggest middle school, which is Stern Middle School, is the biggest middle school in California. 5 different gangs on the campus. But see, for me, it's not about gangs anymore. It's about violence. See, it's changed. See, we're always talking about gangs and everything, but it's violence now. People are just snapping, angry, mad. See, so it's like the spirit of anger has just invaded our nation.
And the solution to all that is
Christ.
Yes.
But you gotta, just as much as that's violent, Bible says that the kingdom of God suffer violent, but the violent take it back by force. And we have to be very violent spiritually, but right in their face, be seasoned.
I had asked Manny at the break if a Anglo white guy like me walked up to a 17-year-old thug like you way back then and said, Christ is the answer, would you just laugh that off? Or how do you think your response would have been? What would it be now?
You know what? Like I said back, like I told you earlier, was that I would have respected you because you came and told me. Because, see, no one ever came to our neighborhood. No one tell us about Christ because we were scared. See, I understand this whole mentality
Fear.
of people now.
Yeah.
After 50 years, I'm 50, I finally got it. The mentality of man from different cultures and what we deal with. And if it doesn't benefit us, well, we don't want it.
Ah.
Instead of just giving, knowing that we lay our life down for Christ. You see, so when God spoke to me about that,
Okay.
that knowing that, you know what, it's all Him. If He paid the price on the cross, I want to make sure that He's getting everything that He paid for.
Yes.
Well, that message
Isn't it?
breaks through the hardest heart, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like I said, I work with some of the meanest guys, and even meanest women that are so battered and broken that they just want to, And we have girls. I have a girl. We've had 25 years. We have a big, you would say, number of kids that are adults now, and they're our partners.
Wow.
So, what's interesting about this one girl, she comes to our program. She came in. She was 13. She looked at me. She goes, "What are you looking at, fool?" I said, "You know what? I want you in my program." She just looked at me. Now, she graduated last night.
Oh.
She was in 7th grade.
Fabulous.
Wonderful.
And it was like night and day. The way she
Manny,
dressed.
thanks for coming. Keep up the great work.
Yes.
I hope everyone's watching will remember you in their prayers and best wishes, and for what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
We had your info on the screen, so people will be able to contact you, and there it is there. Stay Focused Ministries for contacting Manuel Carrizales at 1225 California Avenue right here in Bakersfield, zip code 93304, or you can go online to stayfocused.org.
You want to meet Al Pacino?
Ooh!
We got him. Come right. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
The bigger